Yes, Mercury is going retrograde in Taurus on April 21st through May 14th. But there's no need to panic. I got your back. So let's find out what this means for your individual sign and the best way to make the most of this energy. Okay, my powerful Aries, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your second house. So this is a great time to assess what truly matters in your life, Aries. You have a very optimistic spirit, so you can find yourself being excited by many things in life and following those inclinations. But remember, where your energy flows is exactly what is going to grow in your life. So you want to be very conscious about where you put your energy so you can make 2023 all about manifesting what truly matters to you and what you truly desire. Also, retrogrades are less about starting something new and much more about reassessing and making revisions. So now is your time to check in with yourself and make sure your actions and your focus reflect who you are and what really matters to you. With Mercury retrograde in Taurus, this is not a good time to make any major financial decisions. Rather, use this time of reflection to create an action plan that fits within the limits of your budget. This is also a great time to invest in yourself and create healthier habits that prioritize self-care. Just know that this could also be a time where you have difficulty expressing your thoughts and your feelings clearly, and you may even find that you struggle with making decisions, which actually is a very different experience for you because as an Aries, you usually don't have a hard time identifying how you feel and then expressing those thoughts and feelings accordingly. So if you find yourself in a conflict or a confusing situation, take a deep breath and be patient with yourself and be patient with anyone that you're interacting with. Do not focus on placing blame. Just take your time to find a solution to whatever the issue is that you're dealing with, and know that it's okay to slow down a bit during a retrograde phase. It's the universe giving you an opportunity to see things more clearly and make revisions accordingly. It can also be difficult for you to establish and maintain relationships during this time, so this is less about finding new connections and much more about deepening and getting a greater understanding of the connections and relationships that you already have in your life. So Aries, overall, this retrograde phase is meant to give you a strong grasp on your self-worth and a strong grasp on what really matters the most to you in your life as you strengthen your patience and your relationship with the material world. So embrace this energetic opening, and I am wishing you the most productive Mercury retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Taurus, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your first house. So Taurus, as you begin your rebirth season, this retrograde will bring you a much needed pause to reflect on the path that you have taken so far in your life. Take this time for reflection to reassess your goals and your objectives and determine what steps are necessary for you to move forward with clarity. As Mercury transits the first house, be mindful of your mental dialogue. It is so important to understand how your thoughts affect your actions, which affects your life. You tend to judge your success in life by a timeline. You can find yourself saying, I should have already had this by this point, or I should have already accomplished that by this point. Do not should on yourself. Your soul's journey is a unique path, and your success is going to be determined by how fully you embrace who you are without judgment. Of course, setting goals for yourself, but they must be based on knowing yourself and knowing what you truly desire and what will bring you fulfillment. Making sure not to get distracted or caught up in what everyone else is doing or when anyone else thinks of your journey. Remember, retrogrades are not about hitting the ground running, they are about reflecting and they are about revising. So this is the perfect time to revise your inner script because the things that you say to yourself have everything to do with what you manifest and how much joy you attract and experience in your life. And just know you will feel the effects of this Mercury retrograde more intensely than other signs due to the fact that it is occurring in your sign. So you will be likely to encounter changes in the areas of communication, the way that you communicate more specifically, in areas of travel and technology, meaning what you thought might take place may not take place on the timeline that you're expecting, or how you thought someone might react to something, they may end up reacting differently. So this is your time to learn to accept what is and adapt accordingly. And this doesn't mean to let anyone walk all over you or to be passively unhappy, but it does mean accept the things that you cannot change and change the things that you can. And the one thing that you can always change is how you react to certain situations. Now, there may be issues with scheduling meetings or appointments, as well as a greater risk for financial losses or confusion over money matters, but don't let this scare you. This is still your season. The sun's energy, which is much much stronger and much more powerful than Mercury in terms of how it affects your chart, is in your sign, and it will be bringing powerful excitement and opportunity. But just be prepared to remain calm throughout the process and remain patient, and most of all, be adaptable and open to change. The more you don't resist change, the easier any transitions will be for you. And you may even find that once you are experiencing unexpected change, then you might be even happier in the new circumstances that you find yourself in. So Taurus, overall, this Mercury retrograde is an amazing opportunity for you to get very clear on who you are, what you want, and what you are capable of when you don't give into frustration and you don't attempt to control anything or anyone other than your own ability to choose in the moment what decisions are in your soul's best interest. So this retrograde during your season is going to give you the opportunity to come out on the other side renewed, stronger than ever, with a grasp on what you want and how you are going to get it. So embrace this energetic opening, Taurus, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Geminis, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 12th house. So Gemini, it will be essential to relinquish control over certain matters and surrender yourself completely into the world of the unknown during this time, which is not going to be easy for you necessarily. You are an open-minded person for sure, but you do have control issues that can come up for you. So this Mercury retrograde is giving you the opportunity to overcome these control issues and trust the process. So whatever does show up for you, and if you find yourself in the midst of a frustrating situation, just know that will be the opportunity for you to take a deep breath and say, okay, you have to let go here, and it's in your best interest to trust the process. This may be unsettling at first, but it also allows for greater awareness and understanding of yourself as a spiritual being. Make sure to spend some quiet time and reflection or meditation to get in touch with your intuition, letting go of any preconceived notions about the future. Doing that is going to really give you the ability to receive the messages that the universe has for you. This way you can forge a path moving forward, especially after this retrograde phase is complete, knowing exactly what steps to take to stay in the flow and continue on your path to making 2023 your best year yet. This is a great time to take stock of internal blocks that need clearing before making any major decisions. There could be no better time for you to experience a retrograde phase than before your season, because this will really assist you when it comes to cleaning house in your life and getting rid of anything that does not serve you. So that way you step into your season with a blank canvas ready to manifest with the ultimate connection to your power. Now you may find that during this retrograde phase it is more difficult to make decisions, so it is best to really take your time if there are any major decisions that do come up that need to be made, and make sure to approach all choices with caution. Mercury is your ruling planet, so you are no stranger to verbalizing what you think. So just know that during this retrograde phase, it may be more difficult for you to express your thoughts clearly or to get through to others efficiently, which is a challenging place for you to be because you're usually great at communicating. And this doesn't mean that you're not going to be great at communicating during this time. It will just be a time where you are meant to strengthen your ability to slow down a bit, to listen a bit more effectively, and to find the power in solution-oriented communication where both people feel heard and both people walk away from the conversation feeling like they have reached a mutual resolution. Now, since this is in your 12th house, you can definitely benefit from taking a step back and avoiding heated conversations whenever possible. This is a time for you to be able to focus on you, Gemini, so you can get clarity in terms of who you want to be this next chapter in your life. Now, look at this as the quiet before an exciting surge of powerful manifesting energy that will be coming your way during your season. So you want to make sure that you are working at optimum power when that season comes along, and the best way to do that is to take this retrograde energy and use it to reevaluate what you desire, to reassess your plans in terms of getting resolution on any issues that may be lingering, and getting very clear on the vision that it is that you have for yourself. So embrace this energetic opening, and I am wishing you the most productive Mercury retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Cancerians, when Mercury goes retrograde retrograde for you, this will be in your 11th house, which makes this a great time to reach out to friends or any networking contacts and start meaningful conversations. Spend some quality time with yourself first, reflecting on what it is that you want from these relationships, as well as how best to communicate your needs without feeling unsure or vulnerable. Make sure to let go of any expectations and just enjoy the process of simply connecting with people who share similar interests with you. And when I say let go of expectations, this will be especially true when it comes to any business relationships. It will be good to reach out and give energy to those relationships and establish what it is that you want. But also remember, retrogrades can be about re-establishing energy much more than they are about yielding immediate results. So see this phase as reconnecting and planting seeds for the future, and then watch the magic begin as Mercury goes direct. And I'm not saying that this means these connections will not yield results. I'm just saying be patient and do not have expectations. Enjoy the process, enjoy the connections, and keep it moving with optimism and excitement. Also, don't be surprised if an ex or an old friend comes out of the woodwork that you aren't so excited about reconnecting with. And if this does happen, feel free to remind yourself why you disconnected with them in the first place. Now, if they are bringing you new energy in terms of a new way of communicating with you, and in terms of showing you that they've changed with their actions, then you may be open to entertaining a new connection. But I say it all the time, if they are bringing the same old, stale, raggedy energy that got them cut in the first place, feel free to redirect your energy to the things that you know you are excited about and show the universe that you have no interest in anything that does not serve you. Also, be ready to feel a bit overwhelmed by stress during this Mercury retrograde phase. So it's going to be important for you to practice self-care strategies like deep breathing and relaxation techniques and meditation. Also, be prepared for possible difficulties in communication between family members or loved ones, which could lead to arguments if not managed carefully. But because you are prepared, I have full faith that you are not going to let your reactive nature be in the driver's seat, that you will be navigating with awareness. So if conflict does arise, you will go directly to solution-oriented communication and then keep it moving in a positive direction. Also know taking some time away from social media or digital devices can help reduce distractions and improve focus on any important tasks at hand. And if you use social media for work, I'm absolutely not saying to hold off on that. Definitely do what is necessary to keep your business flowing. But I am saying if you are scrolling through looking for the most recent Karen blow up or political conflict, you might want to give that a breather. So overall, Cancers, this is going to be an excellent time of reconnection with certain people and reignition of certain dreams and goals for you. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Leos, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 10th house. So Leo, Mercury will be asking you to reassess your life path and career choices with more clarity and intention. And you can assist this process by asking yourself, what successes have you achieved so far and how do you feel about that? How can you improve on your current situation? And what type of plan could you come up with to make those improvements? Now, this isn't at all to stress you out. It actually is the opposite. Remember, retrogrades are not about manifesting and hitting the ground running. They are about taking a breather for a moment and getting clarity on where you are right now and where you intend to go. Identifying if there's anything you feel uncertain about or you feel like might be unfinished. And if there is, just know that this is the time to establish that certainty and to take the time to finish any unfinished business. Now, this is also a good time to reflect on what truly brings you joy and how best you can manifest your goals in the most effective way. So that way, when this retrograde phase is over, you have that clarity that we talked about and a recharged battery, and you can step into the next phase of your life with excitement. Now, if there's a job from the past that you may have turned down or that turned you down for whatever reason, that job may show back up, or a job that's very similar to that one in terms of being in the same type of work. So this can actually be a very positive thing for you, Leo, if you've been looking for a job. Now, retrogrades aren't the best for starting something brand new. However, if an opportunity does come up, this doesn't mean don't take it. It just means really take your time to assess the situation before making your final decision. You don't want to just jump into anything new without really thinking it through first. It will also be be a good idea to take extra precautions when traveling during Mercury retrograde in Taurus, since there could be unexpected delays or cancellations due to technical malfunctions or miscommunications. And we already know that about Mercury retrograde. And truthfully, the likelihood of those things are not quite as strong for you because the 10th house is much more focused on your world of work, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, it will also be very important to be mindful of dealing with people that you don't know very well or that you haven't met before. Any new connections, you really want to take your time and get to know that person before you decide that you trust them. And this is only to make sure that down the line, you don't have any confusion or complications that come up that could have been avoided with a little more patience and a bit more investigation. Now, Leo energy tends to be pretty trusting and gives people the benefit of the doubt, which is a beautiful thing. But Mercury retrograde transiting your 10th house does heighten your vulnerability a bit, so just keep that in mind. Also, if anybody brings you anything from the past that's rooted in gossip, you want to make sure to try to avoid that energy, because the 10th house also relates to your public image, and you don't want to say anything or be involved in anything in terms of negative energy that could potentially have a negative effect down the line. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't get together with your friends and talk about things that you think are funny. I just mean if somebody that you don't know very well is bringing you some information and it has a secretive energy about it, and you know if that secret gets out, it could somehow get back to you, you want to avoid that type of situation. But overall, Leos, this is going to be an eye-opening retrograde phase when it comes to your career path and how you interact with the public. But rest assured, you will emerge on the other side with more clarity, with more opportunity, and hopefully more money. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive Mercury retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Virgos, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this is going to be in your 9th house. So Virgo, be ready for this retrograde phase to be bringing up a need for exploration into ideas and spiritual practices that will help expand your awareness of self and the world around you. Use this opportunity to review your beliefs, to question what is true for you, as well as to consider how certain philosophies might better serve your understanding of reality. If you have found that recently you have been feeling unfulfilled or a bit disenchanted with life, this will be the perfect energy to open up your mind and soul to a new understanding. It could also be that life has actually been going pretty good for you, but you are feeling a bit tired and approaching a burnout because of the workload that you carry. So just know this retrograde phase is urging you to take a bit of a break to recharge and reassess. So any situations that come up during this time, especially the frustrating ones that you feel like are causing you more pain than pleasure, know that those are opportunities to open the window into clarity in terms of what things you may need to change, especially when it comes to how you look at life and the belief systems that you may currently carry. Now, Mercury is your ruling planet, and it is in Taurus, an earth sign like you. So the aspect being made with your rising sign is going to be a positive one, which can work in your favor, and it will also make a positive aspect with your sun sign and moon if you happen to be watching from those perspectives. So this will assist in the confusion of Mercury retrograde, maybe not wreaking quite as much havoc as it would in some other signs, but it would be a good idea to focus on organizing your tasks and double checking information before committing to anything, because there could be confusion around deadlines or projects that you're working on or paperwork, etc. You could also benefit from setting up reminders for important meetings or appointments ahead of time, so that way nothing slips through the cracks. Also be ready for financial stresses to come up. You know Taurus is the ruler of the material world and possessions, so if those worries come up, give them no energy and use those moments as an opportunity to create a new relationship with the financial world in terms of how you look at it, how you think about it, making sure that you are working to adopt a mindset that continues in practicality, but that also is rooted in abundance and no fear and no worry. So overall, Virgos, this 9th house Mercury retrograde transit will be an opportunity to take a look into the past, which is only good when you look into the past with the intention of gaining a better understanding of your present. So take this opportunity to do so, because it will result in a depth of clarity when it comes to self, when it comes to your life situation, and it will also serve to deepen your clarity in terms of what you want and how you intend to get it. This way, by the time Mercury goes direct, you will be ready for an exciting chapter of forward movement, Virgo. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Libras, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 8th house. So Libra, this retrograde in Taurus will be encouraging you to reflect on matters of transformation, and transformation related to topics such as death, loss, debts, taxes, and joint resources. Now, I know you must be thinking, oh my God, Sean, what morbid topics. However, this is actually a beautiful opportunity to look into these topics and how they relate to your life at this time, so that way you can truly begin to reframe any beliefs or ideas or understandings that could actually lead to not only future fulfillment, but that could also lead to a major boost in your manifesting power. The reason for this is because those topics can really be a source of stress for you. But when you decide to look at them differently, see them as a necessary part of life, then you will resist them less, accept them more, and with acceptance comes freedom. And with freedom comes fulfillment. And with fulfillment comes happiness. And when you have those feelings of happiness and fulfillment, that's when your manifesting powers get a major boost. So Libra, look at this as a time to reassess and reboot, knowing that once you do reboot, the new improved way of thinking and navigating life is only going to lead to more exciting experiences and opportunities. Now, this retrograde is in Taurus, and Taurus is the sign of the financial world and material possessions. So be mindful of thinking of decisions related to finances during this transit. So instead of making major decisions in that area, use this time to research and to contemplate rather than do any serious spending. It's also a great time to reflect on how you can best manifest your goals and desires by eliminating impulsive behavior brought on by reactive emotions, which as a Libra, depending on the rest of your chart, you're actually not that impulsive. So you're pretty good at taking your time to make decisions. Now, as with typical retrogrades, you may find some difficulty when it comes to communicating effectively due to lack of clarity around choice of language and certain expression styles. And you may find that your words may come out a bit jumbled or misunderstood more easily than usual. And this could be by both parties actually involved in any given conversation. And that can cause tensions within relationships if not addressed properly. So just remember, if you find yourself in a confusing interaction, take your time and speak deliberately, and always remember the power of asking questions for clarity. Now, it's also possible when it comes to joint finances that you could have some financial abundance coming your way that's unexpected, that's from the past. So there is positive energy around this also. Retrograde isn't always negative. It just means something from the past you get a redo on, or reassessment about, or a revisiting from. So this could be an energy of abundance that is revisiting you that wasn't tapped into in prior experiences. So overall, Libras, you can count on this retrograde phase to bring up some feelings that are intense, that are related to past loss or some sort of financial stress, but just know those feelings are only coming up so you can process them, release them, and replace them with thoughts on those same topics that are empowering and bring you peace. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Scorpios, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 7th house, which I have to say, Scorpios, is my favorite house because it is the house of relationships. Now, when everyone thinks of Mercury retrograde, they think of everything going wrong or everything being more difficult than it needs to be. But just know that this energy of retrograde is actually an opportunity to go back and reassess certain things and resolve any unresolved situations. This is an ideal time to reevaluate any relationships that may have been causing you stress. You can take this opportunity to reassess your own expectations and boundaries, as well as how best these expectations and boundaries can be respected by the people around you. It's important to recognize when a relationship no longer serves its purpose, or if it has become toxic, so that necessary steps can be taken towards healing. You are a personality with such depth of emotion, Scorpio, but you also get a reputation of being very strong and sometimes cold. And I'm sure under certain circumstances, you can be that way, but you are also intensely loving and deeply devoted. So if there's any pain that you have been experiencing, this retrograde phase is a serious time of healing. So if any conflict does come up in your relationships during this time, see that conflict as an opportunity, as a window into the truth of what needs to change, and the truth that leads to freedom and fulfillment. And just know that this freedom and fulfillment can be experienced within the right type of relationship. It'll be a good idea to take extra care not to jump into any impulsive decisions during this retrograde phase. Instead, pause before acting on anything that seems too good to be true, or even before acting on anything that seems too bad to be true, because chances are either extreme more than likely won't be as it appears. Now, this is also your time to really reevaluate any situation spiritually, mentally and emotionally before you decide what's best for you. You also might find that you are more emotional than usual around this time, and if you are, remind yourself why these emotions are surfacing. That way you can process the emotions, release what's necessary, and then continue on your path. This way you will be able to prevent potential misunderstandings or conflict-based circumstances from even occurring. Also, don't be surprised if an ex or two shows up, and I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to Cancers. If this does happen, feel free to remind yourself why you disconnected with this person in the first place, and if they are bringing you new energy in terms of communicating with you in a different way and showing you that they have changed by their actions, not just their words, then maybe reconsider entertaining the new connection. But if they are bringing that same old stale raggedy energy that got them cut in the first place, feel free to redirect your energy to the things that you know you are excited about. That way you are showing the universe you have no interest in things that do not serve you. So overall, Scorpio, this is going to be an excellent phase for heart healing, for releasing negative energy, for resolving any unresolved issues, and preparing for a new dynamic in your world of romance and relationships of all kinds. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Sagittarians, when Mercury goes retrograde, this will be in your 6th house. So Sagittarius, this will be bringing you an opportunity to review how you manage your time and an opportunity for you to assess if there are any changes that need to be made. Consider what parts of your daily routine can be improved upon, as well as what habits need to be cultivated or what habits need to be removed altogether. This is also a great time for self-care. So don't forget to take breaks when needed and prioritize activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. You know, retrogrades are much less about manifesting in the moment and much more about reassessing things and reevaluating things and even resolving any unresolved issues. So that way you can have a clean slate moving forward. Now, because this is in your 6th house, this could mean that some job or contract regarding a job could come back around and require a revision of some sort. Also remember that this retrograde is in Taurus, which is the sign of material possessions and money, so this could very well be connected to your self-worth, which could be important to think about if you do have any sort of renegotiating to do. Now also remember, it is best to deal with contracts or agreements that were already in motion before the retrograde phase. If there's something that comes along that is brand new, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't sign it or move forward with it, but it does mean that you should pay extra attention to the details before you do finalize anything. This way you can avoid any future confusion. Now you also might find it difficult getting through your daily tasks efficiently. Under the influence of Mercury retrograde in Taurus, small details do tend to slip away amidst confusion, which can lead to you having major moments of frustration. So the remedy to this is to really slow down, Sagittarius. Write down your daily tasks and even set reminders for yourself. This way you won't let Mercury get the best of you. You will make the most of it by using its energy to tend to those things that we spoke about earlier. And it will also be important for you to look beyond the surface level information presented before proceeding further in any given situation, and this will apply to business as well as personal relationships. Now the 6th house also relates to health, so if you find something from your past revisits in this area, just know it is an opportunity to get it under control and to hopefully resolve the issue once and for all. That way that particular issue will not rear its head again. So overall, Sagittarius, this is an excellent opening to have a potential former opportunity come back around regarding work, a great opportunity to have your daily schedule be one that truly supports your goals and lifestyle, and it's an opportunity to deal with any lingering health issues. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive Mercury retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Capricorns, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 5th house. So this retrograde phase will bring more of an internal focus when it comes to matters related to your creativity, to your world of romance, Capricorns, and it may even bring your awareness to a hobby or hobbies that you may have had in the past that would be a good idea to revisit. So when it comes to creativity, this could mean that there is a project that you started that you didn't get to finish for whatever reason, and now during this retrograde phase, the energy energy is very supportive of taking on that project and seeing it through to the end. Just know that that could yield some fantastic results for you. It could also mean in your world of romance that a connection you made in the past that for whatever reason didn't go as far as it could romantically may get the chance it deserves this time around. And this isn't related to an ex. This is more one of those, I wonder what would have happened if we would have connected. One of those types of situations, which can for sure bring some excitement. Now, this Mercury retrograde is in Taurus, so it could also bring up some feelings or circumstances that cause you to reevaluate some financial dealings, but nothing too heavy there because this is in your 5th house, and the aspect that Taurus will be making to your rising or your sun or moon, depending on which perspective you're watching this from, the aspect will be a very positive one. Now, this will be a great opportunity to re-examine what brings you joy and how best you can express yourself without feeling judged by others. Now, the usual minor issues concerning technology, like your computer crashing unexpectedly or mistakes made in documents or misinterpreted messages, that all can take place. So anticipate those things and prepare ahead of time. And it will also be important to just make sure that everything that needs to be up to date regarding contracts and technology are up to date. So that way you can avoid any drama or confusion that something out of date can bring. Now, it will also be important to be patient, Capricorns. Some things may take longer than you had hoped during this retrograde phase, and it will also be important for you to trust your intuition during this time. While practicality is important, your instincts are as well. If something doesn't feel quite right, trust your gut and take a step back to reassess. This will assist you in making the right decision, especially if you find yourself reconnecting with someone that has romantic potential. This will be extremely important because the sun will be in your 5th house as well. So love and romance will be in the air for you, Capricorns, and you don't want to miss out on a relationship that really has some strong potential because of a misunderstanding of some sort. So overall, Capricorns, this retrograde phase is coming at an exciting time of year for you. So you can still have some major advancements. You just want to make sure to take it slow, pay attention to the details, and be very deliberate and clear in your communication. Do that and you will emerge on the other side of this retrograde energy in a great flow with a strong momentum behind you. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde phase possible. Okay, my powerful Aquarians, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 4th house. So Aquarius, don't be surprised if you feel a strong need for reassessment when it comes to family matters or any personal relationships where trust has been compromised. You are the type of personality that can be very open-minded and forgiving actually, but when it comes to being lied to or your trust is broken, it is very difficult for someone to get back into your good graces. So don't be surprised if a situation dealing with this sort of energy does come up for you during this time. Remember, Aquarius, forgiveness is not about excusing the behavior. It's about letting go of the anger and resentment towards the person that hurt you. You can still hold the person accountable for their actions without holding on to the negative emotions associated with those actions. Take this time to pause and think before speaking or taking action. Forgiveness is a process, and it may take time to let go of the negative feelings towards the other person. Practicing forgiveness is not easy, but using the energy of this retrograde phase in your 4th house can definitely help, and it can be incredibly healing and liberating in the long run. Now, this is also an ideal time to reach out to family members, especially those with whom you have a difficult relationship. There could be a major opening for healing and reconnection. It's also a good time to reflect on the values and beliefs that you hold as they relate to your home life. And speaking of home, if you've been looking to move, this could be a great time to do some research in hopes to find the perfect place. Now, retrogrades aren't the best for starting anything brand new, so you may want to wait and make the actual move after Mercury goes direct, but this is a great time to look, especially if there was a place that you loved in the past, but the circumstances weren't right for whatever reason at that time. This place now could prove to have much better prospects. Now, it will also be very important for you to channel your emotional energy wisely during this time, Aquarius. Impulsive reactions will absolutely lead you down the wrong path. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed emotionally during this retrograde phase, just know it is the perfect time to take a bit of a break and really reassess how you are spending your time. Take a look at where you're focusing your energy and make sure that it is in areas that really feed your soul and bring you happiness as opposed to stress or fear. The 4th house is about your inner home as much as it is about your outer home. So Aquarius, overall, this retrograde phase is going to be an excellent opportunity for healing an excellent opportunity for reestablishing a strong foundation when it comes to your home, physical home, and your spiritual home. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible. Okay, my powerful Pisces, when Mercury goes retrograde for you, this will be in your 3rd house. So Pisces, during this transit, it is vital that you slow down, take your time, and pay attention to the details of what you are doing. This retrograde phase is going to help you tremendously when it comes to being able to view things from a different perspective, so that way you can make more informed decisions about your communication with others. Use this opportunity to revise and refine the way you communicate with your family, with your friends, with your romantic relationships, and your colleagues. Much of the time, Pisces, you can find yourself being misunderstood. And this is only because you tend to give people the benefit of the doubt, and you assume that because you would handle something a certain way that you believe to be the right way, of course, that you can also trust that others will do the same. And they might, by their definition. But as I'm sure you know, someone else's definition of the right way can be vastly different than yours. So don't be surprised if you find yourself in some conflicts here and there during this retrograde phase that are rooted in misunderstanding. And I'm saying this not to worry you, but to prepare you to know that if you are in the midst of a situation like that, just know it is the perfect opportunity to take a deep breath. Do not let your frustration or your irritation with someone take over, and instead focus on clarity. Ask important questions, listening to what the other person is attempting to convey, even if you think it is nonsense. Still hearing them out, because the more present you are with them, hopefully, the more present they can be with you. And you can both then find a way to resolve the issue by getting on the same page. Also, a great way to get ahead of these types of situations is to make sure you communicate before you take action. And by this I mean if you've made a decision to do something, and that something is going to have an effect, even a minimal effect, on someone else. And when I say someone else, of course I mean someone that you're in some sort of relationship with. A romantic relationship, friendship, family, or business relationship. But before you act on that decision, run it by that person. Make them a part of the process. That can work wonders in the connection that the two of you have, and it will also work wonders in diminishing the likelihood of conflict down the line. And this doesn't mean you have to check in with someone before you do anything. It just means the more you make the people that you care about a part of the conversation, the stronger your bond will be when it comes to trust. So keep your awareness open for a situation or situations like this to come up during this retrograde phase, Pisces. Now, the 3rd house is ruled by Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So when it comes to the typical Mercury retrograde drama of technical issues and travel issues, be prepared for those things, but most of all, be prepared for communication mishaps and misunderstandings. And just know, you can for sure counterbalance this energy and maybe even avoid it altogether, but you can for sure at least diminish the frequency or the reoccurrences of these sorts of situations by being clear, by being direct, and by working as a team whenever possible. So do those things and you will emerge on the other side of this retrograde phase ready to ride the momentum of 2023 with no unresolved issues to tend to, only oncoming opportunities to be excited about. So embrace this energetic opening, and I'm wishing you the most productive retrograde possible, Pisces. Okay, so there you have it. How your individual sign can make the most of this Mercury retrograde that begins on April 21st and then will go direct on May 14th. I hope you all enjoyed the information. If you did, don't forget the baby tap. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Thanks so much for taking the time to come and hang out with me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.